SOS Live SYX Rgbp live session. So we're looking at SOS Limited right now. It is currently up 0.42. The markets will open in about 2 minutes and some fractions. So this is what is going on live right now. You can see up here it says live. You can always sign up on Charles Schwab and you'll be able, this desktop app will be made available to you, and you can go on trading. So we're looking at SOS Live on the 1 minute model, the 1 minute live model. This is what's going on. A lot of market participants are expecting the short squeeze to come into effect. So the spin off that has been expected for a long time now. So we have this piece written in the Insider Financial. It says that lately there has not been a lot to get excited about in the OTC stock markets, except for the recent 2085 run in Regen Pharma, which we talked about in depth, and yesterday's to 600% move in SYSOREX. It's been choppy to a down market. The main reason is the market makers, led by Jane Street, have engaged in the naked short selling and depressed many of the former higher flying OTC stocks. If you notice, most of the chart patterns look the same: AABB, ABML, ALPP, ENZC, HMBL, OPTI, OZSC. You can see these are their chart patterns. Yes, they have a point. And this is the tweet that pointed out. Seen some nice bounce play setups in the OTC, but the biggest problem is still market makers. Congress needs to investigate the market makers to steal from retail traders every day. Paying for order flow needs to end. Okay, the market has just opened, so we're going to check these boxes: pre-market and post-market, and we are live right now. This is open to everybody. The game is on. SOS currently we're looking at a volume of 120,652. So you can see it's up now and has retraced a bit by 0.18%. Currently trading above all of its, or rather getting some support from the 20-day trend line. Yes, SOS currently down 0.24. While we're at it, let's look at our Rgbp. Okay, Regen Bio is up 6.11% currently, trading above all of its trend lines right now, even above the volume weighted average price. It has continued to extend, up 6.99% now, volume of 7 million and some fraction, 8% now, 9 million volume at the moment. So while we're there, we can have a look at XYS. It's up 32% now, getting some resistance from the 200-day trend line based on this 1 minute model. SYSOREX up 32.33 point. Okay, has broken through that 10-day 200-day trend line and extending 44% now. extending and extending and extending. Up 45% now. Up to 52% now. Volume of 24,661. Very small float for SYSOREX. Momentum is so high. MACD above the signal line and rising. So let's return and see what's going on with SOS. SOS is down 2%. So we'll just return to SYSOREX. Currently up 55.63% now. Let's see whether we can find any news. This is SOS. There isn't any news for SOS right now, because you can see it is trading below all of its shots, all of its trend line, all of its short and intermediate trend lines, but only above its long-term trend line. So SYSOREX is gradually retracing. So let's have a look at SOS. It's down 1.88% now. Okay, down 2.5% currently. MACD is below the signal line. Momentum is flat. Yes, SOS is has retraced slightly, but trying to extend at the moment based on this 1 minute model. The model for 5 minutes or 10 minutes might be different. Currently we are looking at a retracement of 1.46% right now. So let's return and see Rgbp. Rgbp is has lost some of the gain. This is now up 1.09%. So let's see what SYSOREX has also lost some gains now. Currently up 32.58% now. But the signal lines, the trend lines are still very much bullish. MACD is also above zero and above the signal line and rising, but momentum is waning. It's dropping because the stock itself is retracing. So let's return and see SOS. SOS up down roughly 2% now. Got some resistance from the 10-day trend line and has since retraced now. So this is the scalpers opportunity. Small gains and losses and extensions. So we're looking at the volume, or rather we don't have the volume as such. It's just we see volumes, but they're just volumes that have passed through the orders, the size of orders that have been processed. So if we look at a much bigger model, we might see what is going on. Let's look at 15 minutes. It will give us a fair idea of what has gone through so far. 1.5 and counting. This is based on the 15-minute model. You can see based on that model also, you can see it's trading below all of its trend lines. You can see that, all of them. This is the 10-day, 20-day, 50-day, 200-day volume weighted average price in tandem with it. So let's look at the daily chart, the daily model. Daily model, it says a volume of 2.4 to 2.4 million. So this is by far the better model to give us an idea of what the total volume has been so far. So 2.4 million so far across the tape. So SOS currently down slightly, 0.83%. Let's return to the 1-minute model. MACD is challenging its signal line, but the stock itself has also broken through all of those short and intermediate trend lines, again extending, getting some resistance from the 20-day trend line, keeps breaking through. The next level will be the 200-day trend line. So we have a retracement. We're going to remove that and add another one. Fibonacci extension levels. So pick it from here. Pick it from here. Okay, let's pick it from that point, the point at which the 50-day and the 200-day are intersecting. So we'll pick it there and retrace and extend, and we'll use this base, this low of $4.6762, and we'll see how things pan out as the session progresses. So SOS currently down 1.4%. A lot of market participants are indeed expecting some short squeeze to occur. We'll see how things go. Yeah, the session is about 10 minutes old. So it's getting a bit bearish at the moment, getting some support from the volume weighted average price and the 10-day trend line based on this 1-minute model. The MACD is looking quite bearish at the moment. Momentum is also going flat, not very strong at the moment. Stock itself is bearish, currently down 2.29%, as you can see. Okay, let's have a look and see what's going on in the 5-minute model for SOS. It's down 1.67% now. In this 5-minute model, it's clearly trading below all of its trend lines. Clearly below all of them, and has converged with the, or intersecting with the volume weighted average price. So let's see whether we can look at the 10 minutes. Same thing, it's also trading below all of its trend lines currently. Let's see, return to the 1 minute model. So this is the LIVE-SOS, permit me to use that. LIVE-SOS, you can get the stock, the 1 minute model. Currently trading at $4.725. Momentum is gradually trying to improve. MACD is also trying to break through the signal line. Rather, the MACD is trying to break through the trend line, but they are getting bearish at the moment. So we've seen an interesting pattern here. You can see that. You can see it extends and retraces. So if it makes another bottom somewhere very soon, if it doesn't go too volatile, it will extend again. So I think if it doesn't go too volatile or something like that, it might continue this sort of pattern, up, down, up. Let's use the trend line. See, it retraced at the open. And since retraced down here, retraced here, and extended again, I think we have a, what are we going to call this? Two triangles, one triangle so far. One triangle so far. This is not a complete one yet. That's just a trend line. That's one of the trend lines. And inside here as well, we have so that is what we're looking at right now. Very much cyclical. We're not seeing very much consolidation and sideways movements, but also notice that the peaks are not that high anymore, because you can see how the peaks have reduced a bit, reduced a bit, reduced a bit relative to this. There's a pattern there, but I think it's just getting less volatile now. It's currently down 2.29%. You can see that momentum is definitely, yes, we can see the momentum has collapsed now. It's currently oversold at the moment. You can see that it's retracing, broken through the 23.6% level, which is the $4.69 level, but getting slightly moving sideways at roughly $4.7. It's getting a bit quiet now for SOS. We'll see how things go. Let's have a look at Rgbp while we are here. Okay, it's up 10.92%, lost about 20% so far this session. So steadily progressing from where it closed. Steadily progressing, I believe. So this is where it opened at. It opened here and has since gradually extended. At some point it reached was that not 50 something percent, or was it SYX? Okay, let's see. Okay, SYSOREX has retraced as well, currently up 23.18%. So SYSOREX is trading in between, or rather above, its short and intermediate trend lines, but actually in between the short-term trend lines and then below the longer-term trend line based on this 1-minute model. I think we can try and see what's going on the 15-minute model. You can see what's going on there, moving sideways, trading in between or amongst the short-term trend lines. SYSOREX. SOS still very much quiet. Nothing dramatic is going on for SOS right now. So let's see the amount of volume we have seen so far in this session. Let's look at the daily model. You can see 3.664 million shares have crossed the tape so far. Momentum is flat at the moment. Momentum is trying to improve, currently at 25, has escaped the oversold state. Okay, momentum is picking up again. Momentum, as you may have heard, precedes action, precedes price action. It makes sense because the order has to go through first before the stock moves. So yes, momentum does precede, but based on this 1 minute model, it is definitely, you will not really notice that much. You will not really notice that much since it's very much live. They tend to go hand in hand, as we can see now. You can see momentum is creeping up. So this is the first bit of change we are seeing so far. You can see it's extending. So the figure now is a loss of 1.45. Currently trading at $4.7398. I think you've seen some resistance at the $4.74 level. Retracing a bit now, trying to get some support from the 4.73. Okay, has broken through that, broken through the 50-day trend line. Next level will be the 4.76. Challenging it. Yes, has reached it. Getting some resistance from that. Retraced back again to 4.74. Challenging that 4.76 level. Really challenging it, moving. Momentum has recovered. Yeah, broken through now, broken through. Currently at the 4.78 level, broken through that now. Extending towards the 200-day trend line. This is probably one of the biggest moves since that retracement at the open it's having so far. So you can see the loss has reduced down to 0.21 now. I believe if it breaks through that 200-day level, it will come into the positive. 200 days at 479. It's broken through, yeah, and indeed it has come into the positive now to 0.10. So the next level will be the, can't find that 161 level, I believe. A 4.9 level, would that be? Not sure. It's not visible on the screen right now. Okay, getting negative at the moment, retracing. So MACD is currently above the signal line on rising. Momentum is taking a breather, So the challenge now again is the 200-day trend line. It has a price of 4.79. Once it surpasses that 200-day trend line to become positive. It did so a few seconds ago. It has done that now. Okay, hasn't gone. Okay, yeah. The next level will be that 490, I believe. It may not be 490, maybe something else. 480 and 4.80 and some fraction. So my D is definitely above the signal line. Momentum is looking up. Yes, challenging that Fibonacci level. We don't exactly know what it is. It's the 481 level, the 161.8% extension level. So we're seeing the biggest extension so far in this session. It's up 0.54 now and rising. SOS limited. Momentum is very strong and rising. Let's have a look and see. We're seeing 164%, 164 going through, 164, 165,000, 166,000 shares going through, 170, 171, 175, 183. Some retracements below that 481. It's broken through again and rising. 191,000, 194. Okay, 2,000. So we are, yeah, we can see the volume has dropped now. You can see that. You can see the volume has dropped. This is 12,000, and we're also seeing this momentum go sideways. We're looking at 37,000. Okay, volume is increasing and momentum is trying to increase, and the stock itself is increasing. You can see that it's extending. This is currently our biggest extension so far, up 0.21%. Okay, retracing now, trying to get in some support from that 200-day trend line. It's definitely, yeah, getting support from that 200-day trend line, but it's in the negative at the moment. But it's still very much bullish. So the momentum is, you can see that's dropped 12,000, retracing. These are very likely to be as a result of sell orders, I believe. So momentum is declining. Okay, we're looking at some increasing volumes, but they look like they are not buy volumes. You can see that was a trying to extend again, getting that resistance from the 200-day trend line. It still stands at 4.79. It hasn't moved yet. It will always take time for that 200-day trend line to change. So you can see the 10-day trend line is catching up. Only time will always make it ensure that it will catch up with the stock, especially if the stock has started to pull back, consolidate, move sideways. Then the shortest of the 10 trend lines will begin to catch up. We can see that it's very soon going to be a support, and it is now a support. So SOS currently now down 0.52. So while we're here, we can just quickly glance at SYSOREX, SYSOREX, up 35.76. Not as volatile as SOS. So let's look at Rgbp. Regen Biopharma is is losing steam, only up 2.4%, getting some resistance from the 200-day, 20-day trend line. Not as fascinating as SOS so far. Okay, getting yet more resistance from that 200-day trend line. I think the wheel is there. The wheel is there to extend the stock. Momentum still at, rather, the 200-day trend line still at 4.79. The volume weighted average price is at 479. So this will tell you, amongst other things, that the stock itself has extended to some extent. So we have a retracement of 0.6% currently. It's trading below its 10-day trend line, but above the 20-day and the 50-day, and also below the 200-day trend line. Let's look at what the 10-minute model is saying here for SOS. Okay, it's getting some support, I believe, from that 10-day trend line, but they're very much bearish on its the stock itself is very much bearish, and those trend lines are also quite bearish as well. Momentum is not very strong. Let's return again and see what the 1-minute model is saying. Okay, we'll continue to update you on SOS throughout this session. Okay, thank you for watching this video.